Welcome to Marketecture, where you can get smart fast with in-depth interviews with leading technology vendors. I'm Ari Paparo, and I'm here today with Andy Monfried from Lotame. Andy, thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure, Ari, and congrats on everything with Marketecture.
So a customer may have a CDP, and they're still using Lotame as well for the sort of ad techie sort of use cases, like the activation, the targeting, the measurement. Is that a typical use case?
Yes, that's exactly a use case. That's one of the use cases. I think the other ones are around enrichment of a first-party profile. So you can have a first-party profile inside of a CDP and being able to quickly enrich that profile to not only understand your current user base and your current customers from a retention perspective, which is what CDPs do so well. I think where we're helping them is not only adding value to that retained customer, but also enriching and building profiles around acquisition plans and making sure that they have a segment. So not only are they sitting on this first-party data known user, how do I build profiles and modeling capabilities to find my next new customer?
And when you say profiles, like what sort of data points are we talking about? Are these like third-party data, like your data marketplace type profiles?
Correct. It's sourced from over 150 data partners that range everywhere from IP partners all the way down to location providers, all the way down to credit card purchase providers, all tied to a Panorama ID to go to your focus. We have architected the platform so it is not necessary to trade on third-party cookies. Third-party data with a Panorama ID has enabled us to win large brands. Recently, some of our largest accounts we've ever landed on a global basis because the premise of the cookieless activation and the cookieless identification is really resonating with folks that have their data stored and siloed inside of either a CDP or a data warehouse.
Okay, so maybe it would be helpful if you broke it down for us, like a use case for a brand. What data? You can make up a case study. I'm a brand, maybe a CPG brand or auto brand. It doesn't matter. And I have a CDP that's collecting known users. How are they using Lotame? What are the things they're specifically doing and getting value from?
So the first one I would say is the access to the largest global data marketplace to enrich an ID. So that's the first one. Mm-hmm. The second one is enabling that ID and that customer inside of a CPG, data lake, data warehouse, CDP, whatever it is, into a cookieless framework. They need the ID to be able to sync into a cookieless framework. And then we enable the integration across every activation channel from social to every DSP to every programmatic channel, all the way through to real-time Facebook integration so that you're not just looking at email as an email identifier to look at retaining and retargeting that customer. You're actually looking at customer engagement and ways of connecting what you know, the known user. You're really connecting it and enriching it. And I think that's the key of why we launched Spherical, because I'm not really just interested in using data to engage your existing customers. It's actually attracting your next best customer. How does Lotame and Spherical help you do what you're already doing really well in a CDP landscape, but also quickly derive the most value from data using connectivity, enrichment, and the graph that we've built around Panorama to extend that customer across a landscape that CDPs just don't do.
Okay, so I have, just to make it really plain and clear, I have an email address, let's say, of a customer. I don't know much about that customer except their email address. And I have some reason, I want to know, another data point like average household income or, presence of children in the family. So the Lotame data marketplace might have a vendor that provides that data, and you can enrich that. So now my CDP or my data lake has another field in it that says like likely to have children or something like that. That's enrichment. Correct. And then activation is like, okay, so I'm using a DSP like the Trade Desk, which, does not trade on emails. It trades on anonymous IDs. So I want to be able to, target likely matches of my CDP data, existing customers with banner ads on the web, or I want to use Facebook's lookalike modeling to find audiences like my model. Those are all use cases that you're talking about, right?
100%. That's exactly right. It's extending the enrichment and connectivity capabilities in any channel, including CTV, including the programmatic ones that you mentioned and the Facebook ones that you mentioned. So that's an exact one of the, I call that down the fairway use case.
Thanks for listening. To hear the complete interview, subscribe at marketecture.tv.